Hello and welcome back to Material Things with Archmozzo. I'm Sidharth and today we'll be connecting with Himansha Singh, the co-founder of Craste, who manufacture particle board or engineered board from crop waste. You must be knowing tons of crop waste is burned in our country, which enormously increases the carbon footprint. Through this podcast, you will learn how Craft is converting this crop waste into the particle board or engineered board that they manufacture, which has even better usability, quality, and life as compared to the regular boards that we use in our projects. This podcast is presented by Archmozzo, which is a platform for architects and designers to explore various building materials, order samples for those materials, and get the samples delivered within 48 hours for free. So stay tuned till the end and let's get started.
So let's start with your introduction. What's your background in the industry? Where had you mentioned you're working in IASC also?
That is like something recently that I joined. So, but my
Oh, okay,
background mostly is pharmaceuticals, pharmacology, drug discovery, and you
okay.
might be surprised at what am I doing with waste management.
I
But
have that question.
yeah, so mostly, so I did a PhD in pharmacology. I was in Cambridge for a very long time. So there, the system is that you talk to a lot of people, and obviously climate change is a huge issue. So mostly,
Uh-huh.
I was involved in science policy there, as much as I was
Okay.
involved in my PhD in fellowship in pharma. But science
Uh-huh.
policy, different kind of things that are coming up, especially in India. So a lot
Uh-huh.
of changes were happening. Paris Agreement was being signed. Couple of things
Mm-hmm.
were good with respect to
Mm-hmm.
sustainable development. My brother Shubham, so he
Hmm.
is the brainchild, as I was telling you earlier. Like
Yes.
Craft is his brainchild basically. He is
Okay.
a chemical engineer. He was in Imperial College and he was working under a professor who was working on carbon capturing technology. So the entire
Okay.
idea was, how you can reduce carbon emission, and that is how the thought
Uh-huh.
came in. How can we reduce carbon emission? Where and mostly carbon emission happen, and then we obviously heard news about
Hmm.
crop burning in India. I think like that
Hmm.
was majorly like how the thing started when we were like, hey, literally the whole globe talks about crop burning in India.
Hmm.
Everywhere, BBC, New York Post, as opposed to people in India, however. So we were like, what do we do? I mean, there's so much crop waste that has been burnt. Almost
Hmm.
500 million tons of crop waste is
That's a
produced in
huge,
India.
and carbon
90
dioxide emission
million
also
tons.
increases according.
Oh, yes, yes. Imagine 90 million tons of waste being burned for no reason. Think about that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's shocking. And like, so Shubham decided to do something for that. He said, okay, let's try and see if we can utilize that. And that time we
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how. In fact, that time we were thinking we can make roads using that. That was a new thing. So
Okay.
he came back to India with that vision that, he's going to go and like travel across, and he got that fellowship, a rural immersion fellowship.
Uh-huh.
So
What is that?
that fellowship is basically it gives you a certain amount of money to also go around in the country to understand like where wastewater treatment, sustainable development, all these things,
Okay.
upcycling, recycling, etc., like where
Mm-hmm.
you can utilize idea innovation into practice for these problems.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was
Great.
a great fellowship, to be honest. I think a
So
lot of
this
people should
is
have it.
this like where can someone get it from? Like from the university only or from Indian government?
Indian government is doing a lot. It's another thing that people don't look into mygov.in as much as they should.
I didn't have
Yeah,
any idea of this.
government is doing fantastic job, especially when it comes to sustainable development. I think they've been
Mm-hmm.
front runner, in fact,
Mm-hmm.
for the entire SDGs and every. India is doing pretty good with Paris Agreement as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
anyway, Shubham was here and then spoke to a lot of farmers, and obviously, like we knew that before, but after being here and meeting farmers, we understood that North region particularly is like
Mm-hmm.
mostly affected by that. So,
Okay.
and we had to understand why they are burning, if there's happy cedar provided by the government, if there is
Mm-hmm.
other things, why are they still burning? A lot of times it's easier, right? Like 1 rupee matchstick, couple of days, no one has to
It's
do
the
that.
easiest solution if we don't look at the
Exactly.
so.
So we thought,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do? So we thought, okay, what if we actually buy it from them, give them money, treat that waste as value?
Mm-hmm.
Like, would that make them,
Mm-hmm.
not burn it? And that's precisely what happened. So the idea
Mm-hmm.
came from all of these conversations and multiple people just discussing climate change, to be honest. And I got
Mm-hmm.
into that because being a microbiologist and biologist, we were trying to figure out how we can utilize like biological properties of these crop waste internally,
Mm-hmm.
the intrinsic properties of these of this waste, and come up with
Okay.
materials. So it's called biomimicry, basically.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so that is how Craste was formed, and Craste means crop waste, actually.
Crop waste. Okay. Okay. So there is definitely no resistance from the farmers end in giving you the like waste materials or.
They do charge us a lot. So the idea is that the more money they get, they will not have any resistance. If they don't get money, then obviously. So one of the challenges that we had is that a lot of them also use it as fodder. We are
Okay.
targeting the stubble, and we are not targeting the residual part of it. So that is where we
Mm-hmm.
are. We had to convince the farmers that the stubble itself is also very useful, that no
Mm-hmm.
one will use as fodder. So you take that out for us. For that, we'll give you money. And
Okay. And that is
yeah,
an like extra effort for them that they have
that
to
that
do.
that is an extra effort. So that is what they usually burn. Also, it's stubble is what is
Okay.
being burnt. A lot of crop residual waste they use as fodder, so that goes away.
Mm-hmm.
But even as
Okay.
fodder, they don't get a lot of profit. So we came up with a plan where we are like, look, you can utilize it for fodder. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
that stubble that is still on the like on your fields, give it to us,
Mm-hmm.
and that will be utilized by us. So we'll give you money. And
Mm-hmm.
so far, I mean, I think this is working. We have managed to procure some raw material. We are also
Okay.
tying up with NGOs and couple of other companies that are specifically looking at agricultural supply chain. So they
Okay.
help as well. So
Great.
it
Great.
was
Great.
really unique because no one was looking at stubble. So when we
Mm-hmm.
told them we want stubble and not the actual crop residue, so
Mm-hmm.
that was like, okay, great. That's a lot available. A lot of them were happy to give it to us for free also if we provide them labor.
That's the major issue. Like, only thing
Yeah,
that they have to do is provide labor and get it out of it.
and time. So there's a very
And
short window where they have to harvest and sow for the next season.
okay, okay, okay. That's why they go for burning it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, which is sad, but like yeah, in South it's relatively better. I think because in South they already plow rice, straw and
Mm-hmm.
everything in right, like after harvest they don't rotate that cycle as much as they do
Okay.
it in. So here the burning problem is not as much. At least that's what we've understood. But again, we incentivize
Mm-hmm.
them to buy that waste, so they're happy to do that. So they're happy to give us that.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as
Definitely.
a company, we moved around in different materials, not just couple of crops, but a variety of materials. Say, for instance, if you have a sugarcane factory, if sugarcane
Mm-hmm.
waste, we can utilize that waste as well. And at some
Okay,
point,
okay.
our vision is to be like a proper waste management company, wherein if you have any waste,
Any kind
we'll
of
make
waste.
any kind, yeah. Like recently, we tied up with Pad Care. It's a company that recycles, upcycles sanitary pads, and we
Okay.
made paper out of that as well. So all we
Great.
need is
Awesome.
cellulose, and
You
we
just
can have
need
a
some waste and you will make something out of it.
we'll make something out of it. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
we
okay.
like that.
That's a really, really awesome initiative that you're doing. Like, I hope
Yeah,
all the waste will be able to upcycle through Craft.
I
And
hope
like,
so too. Really, yeah,
like you mentioned, the ideation part, initially you were thinking about the like converting it into roads, and then you came to this Craft and particle board and packaging material. So how did you
yeah.
end up forming that idea? How did that like you come up with that product?
Yeah. So it was basically in the labs, like things when we were trying to, check the properties of that, what can be made. So initially we
Hmm.
decided, okay, let's make some pulp out of it because that's the easiest way. A lot of people already make agro-based pulp. It is not something that is
Hmm.
unheard of. The
Hmm. Hmm.
issue
Hmm.
is certain crops cannot be used. So agri pulp can only be made using certain, like for instance, rice, it has high silica, so a
Okay.
lot of people refrain from using that because it disturbs like their machineries, or
Hmm.
it the high silica can cause abrasion. So we
Hmm.
thought,
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
like where are the bottleneck in that? So we thought, okay, something which is already been done, can we improve that? So,
Okay.
so we started with that. It's like pulping is something that can be improved further. Right now, pulping also uses a lot of water, a lot of thermal energy, and a
Hmm.
lot of chemical. So it has a very extensive effluent waste process. So
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
thought,
Hmm.
okay, we use crop waste. At the same time, can we come up with a different process for pulping altogether? Like dry pulping, can we use again like biological material to pulp itself, like enzymes? Can we do enzymatic pulping? So
Hmm.
all
Hmm.
these ideas just kept coming whilst we were working on that. Then
Hmm.
board direction of board came because we, to be very honest, we've been hearing quite a lot since we were working on pollution and crop
Hmm. Hmm.
burning,
Hmm.
etc. We came across many articles wherein they spoke a lot about formaldehyde emission, and
Okay.
uh, and pretty much I think like see a lot of countries are already banning formaldehyde emission, or at least
Hmm.
giving a strict no to like a certain
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
number, basically, like how much it can be emitted. So we
Yes.
thought, why is that? Did some research and realized that pretty much every furniture that we use has
Hmm. Hmm.
formaldehyde emission, because urea formaldehyde as a resin comes cheap,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
obviously like it that is the reason why everyone uses it. So your
Hmm. Hmm.
MDF, your general particle boards, like they all use it.
Okay.
And so we thought, okay, can we do something about that? So our idea
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
seeing the existing thing, coming up with what the bottleneck is, can we improve it? Like
Hmm.
it's a
Hmm. Hmm.
conventional technology which is being used. Particle board in India is known as Bhusa board, which is not that good.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
don't really want to use them as well. They still prefer cutting trees. So then we
Ha ha
thought,
ha.
okay, can we come up with something that can replace tree entirely using this waste, crop waste that we have? And can
Hmm.
we come up with a technology where there is no formaldehyde? So that took us two
Okay.
years, almost 2.5 years of intensive lab research.
Hmm.
So to
Hmm.
answer your question, I think it's all depends on, because my brother and I, we are both scientists.
Hmm.
So even our dinner table conversation will be like, okay, this is something new. Can we do it?
That's really
Or can we
amazing.
solve it? Yeah.
Looking at the
So
problems and thinking about the solutions. Like that's how
yeah,
Craft is also formed.
exactly. Thing is that a lot of these things are there, and no innovation doesn't happen in this
Uh-huh.
area. It's a very conventional area, right? You
Hmm.
have your furniture. Now you'll have even like say a company as big as IKEA. They'll still
Hmm.
get MDF from somewhere. They'll get their boards from somewhere. Different, like, but there is no innovation in actually making those boards anymore.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's a
Hmm. Hmm.
monopoly of, okay, there's an MDF board available. There is a plywood is available, but
Hmm.
again, same process, same
Same
raw material.
process.
It doesn't change. And again,
Hmm.
formaldehyde, no one even knows about that formaldehyde is that
Hmm.
bad, to be honest.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so many problems it creates. So we have now come up with a completely new technology where we use a different resin. So we don't use urea formaldehyde. It's a
Okay.
patented resin that Craft has developed in house, and that is a formaldehyde free resin.
Okay.
And in order to cut down the cost, we
Hmm.
also came up with a different process, like a different machinery altogether, to make that boat, so
Oh, so
that it
that's
is
also manufactured in Craft only.
absolutely, so that is affordable now, right? So now you don't have to
Uh-huh.
spend too much money, because to be honest, you want to introduce sustainability, but people don't want
Hmm.
to pay a price for that. That is a
Definitely.
reality. How do
The
we
behavior shift that we have to bring in is along with the existing money that they are providing. Like they can buy the
absolutely,
same for a sustainable, they can go for a sustainable option in the same money. They're not ready to spend anything extra for it, but they
yeah.
want the same quality, same design aesthetics and everything.
Yeah, so we want Craft to be like in every household, so it's scaled up in a
Hmm.
way that everyone can afford sustainability. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is when you really make an impact, right? Like you work so hard to develop something new. You don't want it to be concentrated to a select certain, like, woke people, as you may say. It should be for
Hmm.
everyone. It should be
Hmm.
affordable for. So anyway,
Hmm.
so that is what we did, and so we've come up with this new board. We call it engineered boards. Actually, it's not really particle board anymore, although it is
Okay.
definitely different waste material or crop waste or whatever. But the innovation here, when we realize after making the
Hmm.
resin, that boards that come out have strength which is comparable to plywood in certain
Okay.
cases. It is
Uh-huh.
water resistant as well, and so the strength is really good. Like it even surpasses best selling MDF boards that you have in India currently.
Oh,
And so we
I
compared what we
like
were.
I wanted to ask this actually, like, is your product that you manufacture in Craste, the particle board, is it like exactly the same usability, same quality, and all those things? And you are mentioning it's even better than the boards that are used in the industry
Yes, yeah, and that was, to be honest, that was
and the life
that.
as well.
So, yeah. So that's serendipity for us, right? Like we developed the
Uh-huh.
resin and we realized that by changing the resin, you actually can
Hmm.
improve strength of this board to such a great level that you
Hmm.
probably don't have to cut trees anymore. You
Great.
might just.
That's really great.
And yes, we are still doing a lot of innovation. It's still like the innovation pipeline is always full for us. It's
Hmm.
never ending. So
So
we want to
about
now
the like this is about the particle board, and the second product that is
engineer
mentioned,
board.
engineered board, and the
Yeah,
next second product that is mentioned in the website is like packaging material, I guess, right?
yeah.
So that is also like, what is the process for that? Is it similar to
So
the?
the other, as I was telling you earlier, so pulp is like a key commodity, key requirement for paper, then that
Hmm.
leads to packaging, right? So
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
we've done, we've innovated a technology. In fact, I think by the end of this year, in couple of days actually, we'll start the process of our first pilot plant for that. So where
Oh,
we will be
great.
validating our technology. So it's again a patented technology.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
what we are doing is we are trying to make pulp in a way which has least amount of waste, in fact, no waste whatsoever,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
less water and as less chemical consumption as possible.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Okay.
so that is what we are doing. Now, the pulp that comes out of this waste, again, it is comparable to any pulp that you take from. It's better than recycled fiber. It's obviously
Okay.
cannot compare with virgin, which is wood fiber, but
Hmm.
it
Hmm. Hmm.
compares and it surpasses recycled fiber. Again,
Hmm.
recycling is good, but after a couple of cycles of recycling, you can't do that anymore.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
recycling process still has a lot of carbon emission. You need to
Okay.
de-ink the paper, you have to do a lot of things.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So here what we've done is it is a completely waste paper, but
Okay.
it will be like any other recycled paper that you might want to use. So it doesn't
Okay.
change. In fact, it is better because it has not been in any other household. So we were trying to say that, look, in Corona time, this packaging is basically tree free. It is
Hmm.
going to be composted in your own household whenever you want it to be.
Oh, it
So
can
it's
be
totally
decomposed as
composted.
well.
Yes, it will take time. You might have
Ha
to add
ha
some
ha.
microbes, like how you would compost, any other
Definitely.
material. But since it's just waste, and it's not waste like how you think of it. It's basically crop residue, right? So it's
Hmm.
like your gehu, chawal, whatever.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
so,
Hmm.
so that's
Okay.
what it is. Put it in your back garden and it'll be composted. So
Hmm.
that
Like packaging waste is also a very big thing in this world of e-commerce. Like everybody orders so many things on a daily basis. So
exactly.
packaging waste is a lot out there, and this is something really, really great for like replacing packaging
Yeah.
with these boards.
Yeah, like our idea here is, say for instance, if you have an F&B company, you make a certain product and
Hmm.
we can make packaging. Say if there's a tea product that you're making, we'll make packaging
Hmm.
using that tea waste. So it's also a
Oh,
circular packaging.
ha 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 ha.
Like
That's
I said,
great.
like we've innovated in so many materials that for us the innovation is key. Like R&D in
Yeah,
utilizing
I
whatever
can feel
materials
that.
are
Like
available.
every other thing that you're telling me, it's something new for me. I don't have any idea about what all you are doing.
Yeah, but that's
That's
the
really
vision
amazing.
Craft has. Like, in fact,
Mm-hmm.
I want people to moving forward. Like as a company, I think what I want people to say is like craft it rather than recycle it or
Hmm.
re. If they say
Like the
craft
idea
it,
you mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, only like all the waste materials will be converted into something usable through Crust. So exactly that is happening right now. Like the circular waste thing that you mentioned, you talk to
exactly,
the tea
exactly,
brands and convert their waste into packaging material. Like no waste
yeah,
is zero waste is there in all the
exactly.
processes.
Exactly. So it's like, so, they say that, right? Someone else's trash is like, probably someone else's gold. Like, so that's
That
what
that's
it
really
is.
happening now.
Yeah, what do you think? In fact, even for byproducts, like I said, sugarcane industries, right? Like they
Hmm.
have a lot of byproduct that comes out of their factories. We
Hmm.
utilize that as a raw material. We can. In
Okay.
our pulping process, in fact, the byproducts that we also make are
Hmm.
purified at a high grade quality, which means that they can be sold to another industry. So it's a
Okay.
circular manufacturing as well. There is no byproduct that is useless. So,
Hmm.
like I'll give you an example. Lignin is one of the most, common byproduct that comes out of this pulping process usually.
What
A lot
thing?
of time, lignin comes out of pulping
Lignin.
process. So when you
Okay.
try to, when you're doing pulping and making paper,
Ha
there's a
ha
lot of
ha.
lignin waste that comes, and a lot of people usually burn it because that's what they can do, right?
Ha
It
ha ha.
comes in the form of waste residual chemical mixture. What we
Hmm.
have tried to do is we've tried to, even utilize the property of lignin, purify it at a high grade, so that
Hmm.
can be sold to another vendor who would like to use lignin for other things, like
Okay.
bioplastic uses lignin, for instance.
Okay. So Craft
So,
doesn't use any trash, like they don't have dustbins. Whatever comes out that is reused in some form.
hope that is not, yeah, that's actually quite good. Maybe that is what we should incorporate. No dustbin, trust it.
That's really great. So can we talk
Yeah.
about the architectural perspective of your engineered boards? How, like you have mentioned in the website also that some custom about the customized samples, and like
Yeah.
what kind of customizations are possible if any architect or designer wishes to use this product, or any end consumer, like what all can they make out of it, and what is the final product that they will be receiving from Cast?
See, the final product they'll be receiving is a board, basically, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that board can be customized into any shape and size, whatever, as you would do it for any other MDF board or plywood that one gets. So
Okay.
the final product can also be like a laminated board can be there with edge bending and everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
your actual commodity doesn't change as much. Your quality of the commodity is changing. Right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for
Yeah.
architect, interior designer, it is not a new product. It's a product they're already
Mhm.
used to, a product that they
Yes.
know how to work with. So they can manipulate it in any form and size and shape that they want it to. It's just like
Okay.
I said, quality is different. Now instead of using, say, plywood, a tree-based product, you're gonna be using a crop-based product. Instead of using
Mm-hmm.
something that has a formaldehyde emission, you're gonna be using formaldehyde-free board. So that
Mm-hmm.
has an extra benefit of being environmentally friendly, more sustainable, more economical, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
ecological. And so that is what we have produced. And again, depending on the thickness, how do you want it? How do you want the, say, like if it has to be water resistant, fire retardant, termite resistant, all these properties can be done. So
Okay.
it
So
is
like
it
that
is
is
the
on demand, or that is the product that you're giving?
that is the product that we are giving, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure like there's no one that I've heard who doesn't want a fire retardant board.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So
So,
like these product,
yeah,
like all the finishes that they any architect has to do on top of the boards, that is also
yeah,
possible. Like no
yeah, yeah.
limitations at all.
No, like I said, it's a product that you're already used to,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
That,
it's
got it.
not something which is that you will have, you need training to do it. It'll be like any other MDF or any other board that you already use. So use it
Hmm.
like that. A bit
Okay.
better. I would like to add that.
Much better.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And like, what is the sample? Like, what when you say samples, what how is the process for that? Like, what they have to, how to reach out for you for the samples, and what will the samples they'll be getting? The
Yeah.
entire process for that.
Yeah, so see, that is at the moment very customized. I mean, the kind of people who approached us, they wanted samples for different shape and sizes. 1 by 1 feet is very commonly done a sample that we can make.
Okay.
But then it really depends. Like, you want certain size, you want to test it. We can send you
Hmm.
sample. You can just directly write to us. There's a on our website. You can reach us out on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. We are active
Uh-huh.
every.
So, and you are working pan India, like people
We
from.
work. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, we are mostly concentrated in Bangalore, Pune, and like Gwalior, North Indian area like Jaipur, Delhi, etc. So
Okay.
that is where most of our clientele currently is present. So we are
Mm-hmm.
present there. I mean, ship a sample anywhere in India is not an issue for us.
Mm-hmm. So how are you connecting with architect? Like, who are your clients right now? Architects.
So architects, yes, builders as well. To be honest, furniture
Okay.
makers, another client that we
Mm-hmm.
have. Carpenters, freelance interior designers. So all of these people who want to use boards are our clients. In fact, we
Mm-hmm.
also have direct clients. So in India, a lot of people use their own imagination and get a carpenter home and just want boards and be
Mm-hmm.
like,
That is something that
they have
happens in
also,
India. Like every
yeah.
person is an interior designer.
Exactly. So we provide boards to every category
And
of people who
consumer
are.
as well.
But we prefer, I would say, because if there is a more streamlined network,
Mm-hmm.
of architects,
Definitely.
that is better because obviously they know how to use our boards properly. They tell us about.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, for instance, in Gwalior, we are using our boards in a resort that is being built, which is a family property actually. So we
Okay,
decided to
great.
test our boards there, and then we are making furniture. We're using it in the cottages that we are developing. So for both, so we're
Uh-huh.
checking them both building as well as furniture designs.
Great, 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 great. So
Yeah,
that's really awesome, all the work you are doing. So I wanted to
yeah.
end this, like the coming to the last part of it. I wanted to discuss about the like carbon dioxide waste that emission that you have been controlling with the particle board. So what about that?
See, the carbon emission, first, obviously, when we are saving crop burning, that
Hmm.
already, say, like if I get my crop waste from 1 acre of land or, a couple of tons of raw material from a certain area,
Hmm.
usually that would have been burned, contributing to carbon emission. So, I mean, the stats are somewhere around 150 million tons of carbon emission burnt every year, like released every year. So,
Hmm.
so for every board that we get, we save that certain amount of carbon from being
Hmm.
emitted, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
then we are working on decentralized facility. So what we want is, we don't want a central facility, we want smaller decentralized unit, scaling up. That is going to be the model, spread
What
around the
is
country.
what is that
Yeah,
model? Decentralized model?
so it's like an Amul model. Basically, what we want to reduce carbon footprint in transportation. We want to reduce carbon
Okay.
footprint in delivery as well. So, like, say for
Hmm. Hmm,
instance,
hmm.
if you have you want boards in Bangalore, we'll have some facility near Bangalore only that will deliver to Bangalore,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
rather than
Okay.
transporting it all the way from North India to South India.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
thereby, so here we are trying to be, more carbon neutral in that way, as much as possible.
Hmm.
So
Hmm,
that's
hmm.
another way
Definitely.
that yeah,
It's a great
carbon.
vision that you are having. Like
I
I'm
hope it works.
seeing.
I hope my boards are in your
Definitely.
office as well.
Definitely. We are we are looking forward to that one day.
Yeah, yeah. No, it'll be
Okay.
very soon.
Sure, sure, sure. It was great connecting with you. I got to learn a lot about everything, like all the connecting with a scientist for the first time. I have never connected or talked to any person like this. So it was great
Thank
connecting with
you.
you, and it was
Yeah, no,
very,
great
very
chatting
knowledge.
with you.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying great chatting with you as well. And thank you so much for, inviting me to talk here as well.
So were you in like all those events that are happening for architects, Ace Tech, and other events like that?
No, we are attending Paper X in January though. And
Paper
we
X.
yeah, we have not been attending any architect events. You may please send me links for them. And
I'll do that.
yeah,
So Paper
so
X is what?
it's for the paper community basically. It's not for
Okay.
architects as such. It's
So you
completely
are not just limited to the architecture community, you are for every person out there.
yeah, like I said, right? We are doing waste to value products, and then wherever
Hmm.
we find a product niche, we are there. You'll find us pretty
Hmm.
much everywhere. I think at some point we will be making roads as well.
Definitely. That was your first idea, I guess.
Yeah, at some point that might happen.
So
Biodegradable
is
roads or portable road system.
so is it like right now, is there anything for the end consumers? Like
Yes, I
particle
mean
board, like
both
you mentioned? Yes.
are yeah, yeah, and even the paper. So right now we have both. So we are doing pulp as commodity for paper mills, for paper consumers who would like to buy pulp as commodity, and we also have end product as paper and packaging. So we have all
Okay.
of these for end consumers. In fact, so for
Mm-hmm.
us, we are targeting B2B mostly, because there are a lot
Okay.
of companies, who have tied up or who have pledged to go plastic free completely in their packaging. So
Mm-hmm.
target that customer more because, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
an impact
Like
can
chain
only be
starts from there. Like they
exactly.
supply to the end consumer, so eventually everything will be going green.
Exactly. Like imagine if you get all your deliveries in a completely crop waste paper, there is no tree involved at
Hmm.
all, completely
Hmm.
carbon neutral. So, if that happens at a bigger impact, that's what we target. But for
Hmm.
our boutique customer, because we have quite a lot of boutique customers as well, like Pet Care was one of them that we just work with
Okay.
upcycling their, waste. So, boutique customer would be say like, people who want to make things out of handmade paper. So we make a lot of handmade paper as well,
Okay.
and
Okay.
different color
Great.
shape sizes and like wedding cards and small little jewelry boxes. So
Huh,
that's a
huh, huh.
boutique thing that we keep having.
Huh,
And
huh, huh.
we do that for mostly home targeted D2C market.
Where
That's
where
that's
where can I find those material? I didn't see those in your website.
Yeah, it's on Instagram.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not,
Okay.
it's something we started doing very recently because we were doing a lot of
Okay.
trials, and we had a lot of paper that comes out of it, which is good quality paper. So we thought,
Huh.
okay, what do we
Okay.
do
We
with
are not
that?
going to throw it away. We will be
No,
using it somehow.
we will use that. So every
Okay.
trial paper that we get, we try and make something cool out of it, and then, and surprisingly, actually, there are a lot of people in India as well who are very keen on that. They don't mind paying extra money, but they like to be
Hmm.
sustainable with their packaging. So completely plastic free,
Hmm.
PET packaging. That
Okay.
they
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Great. And like, how many people are there working with you? Like all these things you
Um,
both are doing alone?
No, no, we have a good team. I mean, in fact, we have a team of 10, 15 people on and off. Like we have interns as
Okay.
well who come and go. Full time, we'll have 10 people at least working, sitting, and scientists.
Oh.
Mostly a team of scientists, I would say, all like minded people who like to come up
Hmm.
with all jugaad innovation, basically, is what
That is
people like.
in very
Yeah.
important in a place like yours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we connect with a lot of third party vendors. So we have ties up
Okay.
with a lot of third party vendors who do our conversions. So
Hmm.
that's the team. So core team as well as like a bit of fluid team that we have.
Okay. Great. Great.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you so much. Thank you for connecting.
Thank
It
you.
was great talking
Thank
to
you.
you.